Hi, my name is Ralph.
And I'm Kyan.
Welcome to the TTDI page, where we have a unique database of InsurTechs across the globe, a network of industry professionals, events, and much more. In the quest to analyze the InsurTechs, in particular in Malaysia, where both Kaihan and myself are based, we've previously published analyses on February and Sineng, and today we'll introduce you to VSure, Malaysia's first virtual insurer. And they cover the entire value chain across the most common insurance products, including both life and health, but also motor, home, and other general insurance verticals. So what we'll do right now is I'll quickly take you through the story of VSure, and then Kaihan will talk about how and which technology they have deployed, and what we can really expect going forward. So diving into the story, with 25 years of industry experience, founder Eddie has been both an executive with one of the regional dominant insurers, and then later had a couple stints in various more digital enterprises. And at some point set out to start Malaysia's first virtual insurer with the aim to provide easy access to affordable on-demand insurance. Now, starting off in the local sandbox, the team had to figure out how to gain initial traction. And they came up with a very interesting proposition. So the team actually created their own charity runs with the whole purpose of establishing a new product category around these events, which was an insurance proposition on a per run basis. Now, this allowed them to sort of grow and establish the basic insurance infrastructure in a confined space with no competition at that time. Well, so far the plan, COVID hit, and the team managed to pivot to virtual runs and ran virtual runs instead. So while this led to a much lower value than initially expected and communicated to the local regulator, Bank Negara here in Malaysia was still very supportive and encouraged them to move on, even with that digital mode. And a couple months later, the first virtual insurer was graduating from the B&M sandbox. And up until today, the team has sold over 1,000 policies. Now, embarking on this journey, covering a couple niche market segments, they found another interesting niche where they could stand the competition of both the incumbents and then all those tech companies like Grab, AirAsia, and so on, which are typically pushing insurance in the Southeast Asian markets. They managed to team up with one of the cooperatives in Malaysia, which has access to hundreds of thousands of cooperative members that are underinsured, that are not very experienced typically with sort of digital technologies. And they really managed to come in here and build a certain level of mass based on which they could then go in and develop a scalable infrastructure, where it comes in very handy that the team consists of a wide array. So the key personnel within VSure have an average of 17 years of industry experience. So they could really come in, since they need to establish the entire value chain of an insurer, they have all the expertise, and to understand better how they actually managed to set this up, and that in a compelling technological proposition. Kaihan, I'll pass it on to you to walk us through some of the key trends and technologies used.
Okay, so VSure's main focus is on embedded insurance, which means by offering protection plans for events they host and by partnering with companies to provide group insurance. What makes them really special is their highly customizable on-demand protection plan in terms of its duration and coverage. So with protection plans from as low as an hour, these short policy lifetimes allow for VSure to have a really high risk-based capital refresh rate. And their claims process is supported by a strong AI-driven backend, which are its eKYC feature and a real-time underwriting feature using the geolocation function on the user's smartphone. And to further enhance underwriting, they are currently partnering with a European manufacturer to install advanced telematics in vehicles. So now VSure is staying very innovative by coming up with products such as protection plans to hedge against e-hailing price surge due to rain, credit card security, post-vaccination protection, and so much more. Also, in the near future, they look to set up a regional data innovation lab in Singapore with the talents readily available there. They also look to introduce parametric insurance and a risk robo-advisor to re-optimize insurance coverage. So we should be looking out for competition from incumbents trying to imitate VSure's market approach. So far, VSure has raised an initial round from angel investors, and they recently closed a strategic seed round of almost $3 million from Revenue Group, which is a main board-listed company that opened doors for VSure to the Chinese market. And moving forward, they target to raise $30 million for their Series A to fund the activities just mentioned earlier, and to strengthen risk-based capital and their AI capabilities. So across all these cool features, we could only cover the surface, but the link to the deck is down below, and we would really, really appreciate your feedback. You can find our email addresses on top of every slide. Our next analysis will cover an InsurTech that's even still waiting for approval from the regulator here. We are very excited to publish that as soon as they officially launch.
So yeah, stay tuned, and we really appreciate to hear from you guys. We're still early on. This is sort of the third take on the Malaysian market right now. We'd really love to get some feedback, get your thoughts, and move this into a discussion. And with that, looking forward to see you in the next session.